Good morning and welcome to the second part of my Going for Gold DofE series journal vlog thing. Today we're going to talk about skills. I've decided to dedicate the next 4 weeks to breaking down the various sections, so I'll give you sort of a few ideas on what you need to be doing or what you can do for your different sections. So just to recap, on your gold, bronze and silver you have these basic four. You have skills, volunteering, physical and an expedition. And when you get to your gold, you have a residential as well. So that's 5 for your gold, but we'll talk more about that probably a bit later on, to be honest. But what I'm going to cover today is the skill section. Probably one of the hardest sections to actually do from a personal point of view, because there's so many things you can do. It can be quite difficult to know what to do, if that makes sense. So the sort of phrase I use, you want to make DofE as easy as you can for yourself. I know you're meant to challenge yourself, and I do appreciate that. But quite a lot of us have other lives outside DofE, for example, going to work, school, uni, whatever. So what you want to do is try and find something you can actively sort of fit into your weekly schedule, if that makes sense. There's about 8 different sections you can choose from. These are performing arts, sorry I've got it written down here, science and technology, care of animals, music, natural world, games and recreation, life skills, media and communication, learning and collecting, or creative arts. So I'm doing vlogging, that's in media and communication. It comes under film and video and film creation, I believe. But I'd say we all do one of these things already. Even like life skills are quite broad, what you can do. But what you need to do is go to I'll add it here, the DofE resources website, and look for skill ideas. And that brings a whole list of approved or accepted skills you can do for your DofE. But just a few things to note here. When you're doing it, you've got to do one of these for potentially 6 to 12 months. So what you really need to think about is something that you're actually interested in. Because you could say, oh yeah, I'm going to go and learn how astronauts fly in space. But just bear in mind that you can probably learn that in an hour. And you've got to make this last potentially 26 to 52 hours if you're doing the bare minimum of an hour a week. Per section, which is the DofE golden rule. So here's my pro tip for this: find something that interests you. I know it sounds obvious, but there are a lot on there. You're like, oh, that looks really good, and you think, actually, realistically, that I'm going to get bored of that pretty quickly. And I'll say I did the same thing. Like in my first one, I can't remember what my first skill actually was. I think it was website design, which is fine. I do like computing and IT, but doing that an hour a week for 6 months, actually might be 3 months, nearly killed me. It was ridiculous. It's sort of like, because you've done everything, you sort of run out of things to do. So find a skill that changes all the time. Another thing you need to include is cost. Because DofE, I'd say it's as expensive as you make it out to be. So if you choose like the really high-end activities, like I don't know, say you're going to go and learn music and you decide to go and buy a piano, don't know why you would do that. It's going to be very expensive, and potentially if you don't enjoy it, you're doing it for 6 to 12 months or 3 to 12 months depending on your section. It can be very costly, and you might even get halfway through, you're like, oh, this just isn't for me, and then you've just wasted that money. So pretty much be careful about cost. Think about the best time you can do your skill. So I'm doing this skill on my weekend because I work. So what I have to do is sort of find a time when I can actually come and do my skill section, which I'm doing right now. Which I can fit in from my life at home, because if you look around, this is my bedroom. Yeah, sorry, it's very bland. If you're unsure if the skill you're wanting to do is not on there, speak to your DofE leader. But just if you're unsure, just ask them if that skill's accepted or not. 9 times out of 10 it will be, if you can really justify why you're doing it and what you want to learn. Actually, talking about learning, there is another thing you need to learn. You need a final goal. Every section you need to have a goal for doing that section. So my goal for this section is to produce a video every week, which is 3 minutes long, and that's my one for the whole year. Think of a realistic, achievable target. RAT. We've made our own acronym. It's called RAT. Realistic, achievable target. And pretty much realistic means something that you can actually do. Achievable is something you can do in the time scale, and it's just got to be a proper good target. To be honest, so your target is to get to that final stepping stone, or get to that final point, whichever you get to first. Not a lot more to say really, apart from the next video will be next week. Next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and we'll be talking about volunteering, another section that's full of delights and complications. But yeah, pretty much, if you've got any questions, remember to leave them in the comments below. They're a bit down there, and I will try and answer them as quick as I can. Please bear with me, and yeah, I will see you next week.